Go. Let's try another category.
All right, rookie of the year. I think this is a more hotly debated one. I'm gonna just jump in. I'm just gonna go and start it off. I think that the rookie of the year should be John Morant, and I think it will be John Morant. No rookie has won rookie of the year playing less than 50 games, and I think that matters. So, who wants to go?
Go for it.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
I mean, yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with that. Zion Williamson, sure, his numbers look better. He looks like he's killing it, but he's only played 19 games. And with them having, 18 left, he could play a max of 37 games, which is like less than half the season. There's just no way. There's not enough sample size there for him. 19 games is fourth of the season. John Morant, he basically played 60 games. He could have played 76. He's averaging, almost 18 a game, shooting about 50%, 3.5 rebounds, 7 assists a game. I mean, I think that's a clear-cut rookie of the year.
Yep.
Arash?
Why? Who do you think?
Who do I think? I think John Morant's going to win based off solely the fact that, he has the games behind him. But ideally, I would want Zion to win because you can see the turnaround in the Pelicans with Zion. And his numbers
a whole different team.
Yeah, it's a whole different team. And, they've been able to compete a lot better. And for me, that's what the rookie of the year is all about. It's who's been able to elevate their team and be that guy that, is taking that team to the next level.
Pelicans are
That's been Zion.
JK, but my question would be, in those games, he's playing in 19 games. What teams have they played? Have they played elite teams? Have they played mediocre teams where they could have won with or without him anyways?
I would have to look into that research, but
all
I know is Zion for me has been that guy that's made me more intrigued about watching the game. No doubt, John Morant's been killing it too. And you see his highlights, you see Zion's highlights, you see John Morant's highlights. But what's making me more attracted to watch the TV?
So I'll give you one quick thing why I've been holding on to this little bit of a grudge of why I don't think about him as that elite top guy to put the team on his back yet. Last year in March Madness, right, it came down to Duke. It came down to Zion Williamson, down 3 points. He makes an and one bucket. All he has to do is shoot the free throw, clutch. They take the lead. Absolutely misses that. Doesn't carry the team. Someone else has to put back the bucket.
Back up, hold on. I'm not a Duke fan. Let me say that right off the bat. But RJ Barrett didn't pass the ball. He thought he was the Maple Mamba, and he wasn't. And he fell flat on his face.
That's fine.
He's on the ball enough.
I told you, this is my personal biased opinion of why I don't think he can carry the team yet. And I wanted to see, since they're doing they're fighting for the playoffs, right? I would love to see what came down the stretch. Does he continue what he's doing, or do they throw double guys at him? Do they change the whole defensive scheme and then stop him and see if he can actually get past
and that's the whole reason why I'm saying that he's not going to win. He doesn't have the volume behind him. But at the rate that he was going, I feel like he would have won.
Yeah, I feel you.
I think I agree with JK. I think Zion was gaining momentum. I mean, they're both polarizing figures, which is great for the NBA. The fact that more years than not, you probably have one guy that looks like he's gonna grab the attention, but the fact that you have Ja and Zion is awesome for the league. Ja, wasn't it against Cleveland where he almost teabagged Kevin Love when he was going for a dunk, and then he did something similar to Anthony Davis when they were playing for the Lakers. So as much of a polarizing figure as Zion is, Ja is actually almost right there with him. But I think people want to see Zion, right? People want to see him explode. They want to see him do well, as do I. There's something about him, his name, his size, the way he plays.
I feel C in the side of his head.
Yeah, dude. He's just he's got that. I don't know what kind of mentality he is or what, but he's just this big figure, and so.
Pressures of what Shaq used to do, right? He's this posterizing player, but nothing can do to stop him in the post.
Yeah, it's I think the season getting cut short hurts him, right? Not only was he already gonna have too few of games compared to Ja, but now he's basically got nothing compared to Ja, and depending on how they try to resume this season, I doubt there's enough playoff or regular season games
He could only play 37 max games if they played out the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's not going to be enough. So I think Ja wins it as a default, but maybe he should win it anyways because like he's been playing great. Like his numbers are not good, right? 17.6 points per game compared to a 23.6 for Zion. So
Yeah.
Zion's scoring.
It's a volume thing, right?
Right. So less games for Zion, and he's got about 6 more points than Ja. But the fun thing is going to be to see because the way the season ended, I forget what the Western Conference standings were, but I think I recall Memphis being at the 8th seed, and then Pelicans were right there, right at 9 or 10.
They're at 10.
Right,
They're at 10 right now. They're 4 games behind.
4 games behind, yeah. So it would have been fun to see if the season played out the way it was going. See if the Pelicans could somehow work their way up and maybe knock out the Grizzlies, because maybe that would have factored into people's bias and being like, oh, now we got to give Zion Rookie of the Year. He carried his team past Ja's team into the playoffs.
Only one thing that I would knock on what you said about the 17.6 versus 23.6 is Ja Morant is also tripling the assists that Zion is giving out as well. So you can't take away from those points that are being contributed there as well. So
For sure.
So definitely he's scoring 6 points more, but he's also giving almost 7 assists per game versus to 2.2 assists per game. So
For sure, yeah, and that's indicative of the position he plays, right? Ja handles the ball a lot more in his offense, whereas Zion requires other people to facilitate the ball to him to score.
But my question for you, Pete, is how many balls has Ja been sending into like the 4th or 5th row in the stands?
he hasn't been sending him into the stands because he's been nutmegging or jumping like Kevin Love, basically ending their careers. He's throwing them down, not out.
You're forgetting that Zion's also doing that to those same players.
Yeah, I know. Dude, at the end of the day, I get it. Like, Zion is the flashy player to watch, but I think towards Ja Morant, toward the end of the season, was becoming that player you want to watch because he's got, like, the explosiveness of, like, Russell Westbrook, but he's also got the finesse where he knows what to do, slow down the game, but he can speed it up. He doesn't play 100 miles an hour the whole time.
My real question to you is, name the third guy on the Memphis Grizzlies. Name the third guy on the Pelicans. And
So Pelicans, you've got
name the starting 5.
Well, Pelicans are all former Lakers, so it's easy. You got Brandon Ingram, you got J.J. Redick, who wasn't a former Laker, but you got Lonzo, you got Josh Hart.
You're forgetting their best player, Drew Holiday. He's better than all of them.
Yeah.
But Grizzlies is a good question because I don't know who the hell's on Grizzlies.
Exactly.
They lost Iguodala. Oh, they got Justice Winslow, right? From Miami.
Yeah.
But yeah, their team is not as notable. But hey, they're in the 8th seed. If the playoffs start tomorrow, they're playing the Lakers, which will be fun to see Ja and LeBron go at it. But it would have been fun to see Zion and LeBron go at it. Like the 2 games that the Pelicans played against.
The matchup of the Pelicans versus the Lakers would have been much better than
it would have been fun.
And like would have been entertaining.
The Pelicans competed too when Zion came into the season, and they had 2 games against the Lakers, and they competed pretty well with the Lakers. I actually think Memphis is a better matchup for the Lakers. We had this conversation, right, on one of our episodes. Yep. I think Memphis is a better matchup for the Lakers. I don't think they would have played as well against the Pelicans.
I agree with you, yeah.
I mean, they're gonna win either. They're gonna pretty much go either 4-0 or 5 or 4-1.
Realistically, who do you guys envision having a longer career or most likely to win an NBA championship?
Out of those two?
Out of those two, Ja Morant and Zion.
Ideally, I think it should be Zion, but I'm not sold on his durability yet. Coming out of college, coming into NBA, being overweight, we've had this conversation. Unless he gets in shape more, I don't see his career lasting very long.
I don't know. It's about pieces. Like, Ja, if he doesn't have any other piece, he's not going to go anywhere. Like, you can already see the Pelicans. They have Brandon Ingram. They have Drew Holiday. They have Zion. They have these pieces. They have – what's their center's name they drafted too? Jackson Hayes? I'm not blanking on
something like that.
I'm Google the center that they also got. But, I mean, they have all the pieces to be good in 3 years, like as a team. So I would imagine Zion.
Yeah, it's Jackson Hayes.
Yeah. From Texas?
Yep.
Yep.
It's going to be interesting. But, yeah, I think if I had to put my money on it, I'd put it on Ja to win it all.